Thank you so
I'm
much
actually
for coming to the Founded Talk. How's it going?
very good. Thanks so much for having me on.
My pleasure. So, before we move to pitch, would you like to give an intro to yourself?
Yeah, so I'm a techie by trade, so software engineer, a bachelor's degree in computer science. But my main passion is actually weightlifting and fitness. So I do Olympic weightlifting competitions and I'm a qualified personal trainer. So I really wanted to think of something that could fuse my passion for weightlifting with my love of technology. And thinking about my own problems in the gym, I came up with this idea as part of my final year project in university. I was working on it part time for 4 years as a side project while I was working in a multinational firm. And then I hit the ground running end of 2021 with precision sports technology. And we've just hit the 2 year mark of the company. So we're growing now, hitting our pre-seed round, got some really great milestones hit this year. So really looking forward now to what 2024 will bring. So my name is Emma and I'm the founder of Precision Sports Technology. I'm an experienced software engineer and competitive Olympic weightlifter. And when I'm training, I normally have to record a video of every exercise, send it to my coach on WhatsApp, and then wait up to a week for feedback. But millions of people are lifting weights every day. Incorrect technique can lead to increased risk of injury, reduced performance, and lack of engagement in exercise. In fact, around 40% of people have actually injured themselves in a gym. This problem is compounded for competitive sports teams from grassroots up to elite level. Strength and conditioning coaches and physiotherapists struggle to measure movement competency in order to benchmark performance and prescribe exercise programs. So movement measurement can be extremely difficult. Even at the highest level, they're using wearable sensors and manual tools to try and see how well their athletes are actually moving in the gym. And then furthermore, coaches express extreme worry when their athletes are training remotely or during the off season. They have no idea whether they are performing their exercises, whether they're doing them correctly, or most importantly, if there are any changes in their movement pattern, so they can intervene as required in order to keep their athletes safe and injury free. That is why we have developed our proprietary software problem or platform to solve these problems for the athlete, coach, and improve processes across the whole sporting organization. Our system utilizes 3D depth sensing technology to provide real-time feedback and analysis on exercise technique using AI. Our system notifies the athlete in real time whether they are performing their exercises correctly as prescribed, based on a completely individualized pair joint traffic light based system. This solution can be used live in the gym or remotely, facilitating high quality coaching anywhere. That was an example of our initial prototype for the real time feedback. However, this will require significant investment in capital, time, and data. So we have worked with our prospective customers to develop the very first product that we've launched to coaches, which you can see here. Our software platform that runs on an iOS device provides automated objective metrics to a coach so they can know how well their athletes are moving, whether they are progressing, or if there are any anomalies in their movement pattern so they can intervene as needed. This can all be achieved without any additional hardware through the rapidly accelerating developments in artificial intelligence and availability of LiDAR depth sensing technology on smartphones. This solution radically improves processes across the sporting organization by improving feedback loops and removing subjectivity measurement. This then leads to reduced injury risk, performance increases, and huge time savings across the organization. We have had incredible pull into the sports market, where the analytics sector is already valued at over $1.4 billion dollars and rapidly growing at over 25% year on year. We are laser focused on this market. We will sell our software on a licensed subscription service with pricing based on seat numbers and premium features. However, since we are API led, we can leverage partnerships to access the enormous growing markets of physiotherapy and personal training in order to achieve huge scale. This solution is miles ahead of what is out there on the market. Current solutions try to quantify movement using wearable sensors, complex market lab systems, or manual drawing tools, which all take up way too much effort and time. And this is the most valuable resource in any organization. So why us? We are a world-class leadership team with domain expertise, proven track record, and global connections. We recently onboarded Sean as our commercial lead, who has experienced 7 years experience in sports tech sales, is also an experienced strength conditioning coach, and is an elite athlete. I'm a competitive weightlifter and software engineer, so I have deep expertise in both technology and sports scientists. And on the rest of our team, we have experts in physiotherapy, professional sports, finance, and business strategy. So, what are our milestones for the next few months? Well, following our pre-seed fundraise, we will use this money to convert our first pilots, establish high-value commercial agreements with our premium customers, and begin our first international sales. Then following this, for the second half of 2024, we will begin development for the key next phase of our product, which is remote athlete monitoring. We're targeting 100k ARR by the end of next year and raise our seed round. So in 2025, from then, we'll be looking at raising our Series A round, which we believe will be our last fundraising round we will need before becoming profitable. We'll begin scaling into the US market, develop our patent for the real-time feedback aspect, and achieve profitability. So right now, we are raising 600,000 euros for our pre-seed round, of which we have already 250,000 committed and additional 100,000 in negotiations. But as of yesterday, since I last updated these slides, we now have 200,000 euros in negotiation. So also we have Enterprise Ireland that are committed for high potential startup funding, which means at this stage, they will match a fixed amount compared to some of our investors. So to complete this round then, we will have either 100, 200,000 euros that we need to fill up the remainder of this round. So we hope we're looking for investors that will invest from checks from 10,000 euros to join this incredibly exciting journey. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope you are very excited about where the journey with precision sports technology will lead.
In terms of today, where are you standing with your software?
So in the summertime, we hit a huge milestone to pull back a small bit. In January, we launched our MVP for testing with the University of Limerick. So at this stage, it was just an Intel camera plugged into a laptop. So we could then test, okay, how well is the software working? Can we actually track joints to an accurate level? So we determined yes, and we began development then on the iOS app. So we're utilizing the LiDAR technology that's in the phones, so we can get high quality depth data and colored data for this accurate analysis. So then in May, we engaged in another university partnership to see just how accurate this technology is. So we've proven that we are above 95% the accuracy of these laboratory motion capture systems. We can produce results in less than 1% of the time. So to hit this milestone on the technology readiness is absolutely massive. So since the summertime then, we've been working quickly on getting the product side ready for customers. So having the iPad app ready that they can hit record, save, and then they can log straight onto the dashboard and they can see key metrics for their athletes. So a physiotherapist might want to see how is your range of motion for your arm today if you have a shoulder injury. So they can see, okay, today might be, 18 degrees, but the next day was 24 degrees. They're like, okay, this is an improvement. So this product is ready. We actually launched it last Thursday. So we're very much just launched into the market now for our pilot testing. So we'll be going through product market fit, early iterations over the next few weeks. But our target is to convert paying customers by the end of this year.
That's about 1 billion market, but can we talk a bit more on the adoption side? Market adoption.
So like our first kind of route to market, yes?
Yeah.
So like our very first customers that we've lined up for trial are more local, smaller physiotherapists and strength conditioning coaches. So they're our key customer. They're the people that have this very distinct problem of how can I objectively and easily measure movement quality? So their role in a sporting organization is to maximize performance and minimize injury risk. So they want to solve this particular problem, and the sporting organization, they want to win. They want to have the best athletes. So sports, we found they're very, very interested in this kind of a product. They tend to be really big innovators and always looking for what is the next best tool on the market. So we had a lot of inbound leads to our website and our LinkedIn page from some of the top professionals in sports across basketball, football, saying, okay, how can I actually download this app and use it for screening my athletes? So we've had good inbound leads, but also once we start rolling out with these teams, like we've had very good feedback from people who have been working in this space, that if you can get one good paying customer in a particular league, that then opens the floodgates then, because people talk to each other across these teams. They're always moving and looking for better jobs. So sports is where we're looking to get that first adoption, because we have this beachhead and a really strong problem. But of course, there's the huge market there afterwards. It's really obvious for digital healthcare, for remote physiotherapy, but also for consumer fitness, which is where the very first idea for this came from for me, where I was thinking in the gym, how can computers help me with my weightlifting technique? So they're much larger markets, but much more complex to get that business model and the marketing right. So we're starting off in pro sports, get brand reputation, trust, strong revenues, and then raise our Series A and scale up then to those additional verticals.
In terms of business model, how do you make money?
So we are software as a service. So we're pricing our product based on seat numbers and premium features. So we can say for a private physio that has, his own clinic, there's 2 or 3 people working in there, they might have 100 patients they see every month, they would pay a much lower price. But for the likes of a Champions League soccer team, they have a much bigger budget, but they might have many more athletes that they want to test. They want premium features like custom exercise creation, athlete benchmarking. They want to share data between different stakeholders. The athletes can have their own access. So you'd be pricing our products very differently for those kind of organizations. So that's really where the model lies. It's having these different tiered layers and for the seat numbers as well.
But in terms of market adoption is clear, but how do you scale this business to get to the numbers you need in terms of revenue?
So, like in terms of our revenue projections, let's say we're looking at 100K ARR next year, which would be 250 customers on board, which is a mix of the elite sports market and the smaller clinicians, let's say. So, going forward, then, I know it sounds bizarre, but we have conservative estimates that we could be hitting 50 million ARR targets in 5 to 6 years. Now, this is just based on working from the ground up on in each geography as we set up. How many clients could we reasonably target based on the sales staff that we deploy in those regions? But also like these projections that we've worked out based on those like scientific methods, you could say. I know it's still guesswork, but they're projections at the end of the day. Like there's this huge extra scaling potential for like our software is not necessarily like a product, it's a platform. So we can take in any accurate movement data. Our software is the processing system, the cloud infrastructure to develop insights from this information and share it to anyone. So if there's a provider that says, look, I have a physiotherapy service where I connect patients with physios across the world, I do the data management, the programming, we just want this feedback aspect. Can you provide this? And then we can work on a revenue sharing model with them potentially, or a cost per call. So that's huge potential then for scaling into the likes of physiotherapy or fitness, where fitness is very much B2C. It's a very crowded space. So we'd be really looking for partnerships in order to achieve much larger scale and those, 8, not even, maybe potentially even 9-figure ARR sums.
Always dream big and trying to execute as big as you can. Now, for this round, partially it's already, more than partially, it's already committed. But who are the investors you're looking for?
So our ideal investors for this round to fill the remainder of the round. So we have between 20 to 30% of the round left to fill. So ideally, we're looking for angel investors that invest checks from 10,000 euros that have good connections in the sports industry or the digital health industry to really help us plan out that strategy for physiotherapy and digital healthcare. So, people with connections in those fields are very interesting to us, but also this is essentially an AI startup. We're looking for investors that are passionate about AI, but also passionate about healthcare in general. So even if they don't have expertise or connections across all those areas, ideally we're looking for people that, support us, that understand our ambitions and our mission, which is to make, movement, physiotherapy, fitness care accessible for many more people across the globe.
In terms of tech development, everything is done in-house?
Everything is done in-house. So to give a very quick overview of the team at the minute, so there are 7 people full-time in the company. So I'm the founder. I've been full-time for 2 years, part-time for 6 years. Our commercial lead came on board full-time from May, and we met first last November. So then the rest of the team then is the engineering team. So there are 3 software engineers, 1 data engineer, and 1 data analyst. So I came up with design, the architecture, the first MVP. Then I brought on some college students to build out the first like iPhone app, let's say, get the first website cloud services available. And now I managed to recruit an amazing team of very high quality data engineers and analysts to build out this automated pipeline and some incredible quality software engineers for our front end, our back end, our infrastructure. So everything at the moment is totally in-house, built here in Ireland.
I will give you 20 seconds of elevator pitch that we close with the best pitch for you to convince investors to invest.
Okay. So, Precision Sports Technology is a software platform for real-time feedback and analysis on exercise technique to reduce risk of injury, enhance performance, and increase participation in strength and conditioning and physiotherapy. And we can do this just with an iPad Pro, no wearables or any sensors required to allow movement competency checks anywhere.
Thank you so much, Emma, for taking part in the Founder Talk.
Thank you very much, Max.